Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 3 of the Intel Extreme Masters in Shenzhen, China for the Hearthstone event. This day will determine it all. We're going to have 2 semifinals and 1 finals to find out who's going to take home $4,000. The first match will be between Jeanno and Azeri, and the second final will be RDU versus Amaz, who's going to be casting with us for the first series. How's it going, RDU?
Yeah, very good until now. I hope I will win the whole thing.
Kind of realizing the magnitude of what's on the line.
Yeah,
huh?
I'm very excited.
We also have Shrifeko joining us on the cast. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Had a good night's rest after my loss, and I'm ready to cast today.
Yeah, I think you did a great job. Everyone's very receptive. You were sharing great insight, and we figured we'd have you back. Nimsh would also be making a stop by. Maybe if whoever's available, we'll probably grab them up for one last cast before it. But we're going to have a lot of fun today. There's been a lot of Hearthstone action over the past 3 days. 16 players came in through group stages and single elimination, but now only one person will be the victor in taking home $4,000. The formats that's been so far in the single elimination bracket is best of 5 with 1 bans. So you bring 4 classes, and one of them will be eliminated. Taking a look at what happened yesterday, Azeri was able to take out Shrifeko 3-0 on the back of Shaman play. Then we had Jeanno being able to take out Jackie Chan with some great Miracle Rogue. And then we had Amaz versus Masan. That didn't even look fair with some of the Druids and the draws, the wild growths and the innervates. And finally we have RDU taking out Shaosel in what I think is the most exciting series so far this tournament. I mean, RDU would probably be inclined to agree.
Yeah. It was very exciting, and at the 1-2, I really thought I would lose, but my warrior came up on top. I really didn't expect that, but I knew it is a very strong deck overall, so we will see if today the warrior can bring me the victory or not.
All right, and speaking of which, we have the information on bans and picks for the first series, which is, again, Jeanno versus Azeri. You mentioned the Warrior. That was banned by Jeanno against Azeri, so Azeri can't bring the Warrior that he played against you yesterday, or not, no, sorry, they played yesterday, forgive me. And then Azeri banned the Rogue of Jeanno, which means the showdown will be Warlock, Druid, Mage versus Druid, Warlock, Shaman for Azeri.
Well, Jeanno will be favored because he has his Mage versus 3 classes that he can actually defeat. He only has problems versus Druid. In rest, if he wins at the Druid match with Mage, he can win 3-0. Of course, if he starts with Mage.
That's right.
And it looks like Azeri's actually starting with, is it Druid or Rogue?
It looks like it's
right?
Druid.
So if Druid's his first class and Jeanno doesn't start out with Mage, as long as he takes out the Druid in one of the games, he can switch to Mage after, and there won't be a Druid to counter him.
That's perfect.
The biggest obstacle will be at the beginning, and I don't remember Jeanno's Warlock right off the bat. I saw a lot of Zoo yesterday and saw a lot of Handlock. Do you remember?
I don't think we've seen Jeanno's Warlock.
No, we haven't seen his Warlock.
Have we?
I don't know.
I don't think he's played it yet.
So. This will be the first time we're exposed to it. It's important information to have, especially for Amaz and RD, who are watching very intently, who potentially could be their finalist opponent, as well as Azeri, who's pretty much seen most of their decks as well. Now, keep in mind that Jeanno and Azeri, as they are Asian players, they are not from China. China has officially been eliminated as any of the local heroes have been sent home. Jeanno is from Hong Kong, and Azeri is from Taiwan, which is cool, because again, we get to see talent from all kinds of regions.
We get variety. That's important for tournaments.
Definitely. Now, guys, I want to ask for you guys' predictions and picks here. Who do you feel like is favored in terms of maybe just overall skill percentage, maybe in classes and preparation? RDU, real quick, the game starting.
I think Jeanno will win.
I think Jeanno is a favorite with the classes being a counter.
All right, well, I guess that means I'm going to put my faith in Azeri, so that way we have someone rooting against each other. Opening mages is Mage versus Druid.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I thought Jeanno was going to start. It looked like he'll start Warlock, but he's actually starting Mage. So this is actually really bad for Jeanno because his Mage is stuck playing the one matchup that it's weak against in game 1.
Yeah, it is bad, but it's also good because if he wins this, he will probably 3-0. That's what I think. But this is the worst matchup. He told me before the games that he's really confident that his Mage can beat Azeri's Druid.
Okay.
And it's not unwinnable by any means on the Mage side.
No way. I mean, it's not great, but it's still playable for both players.
A very good hand for the Druid.
Yes.
Druid has a really good mana curve. You can just innervate at the Drake next turn and draw 2 cards next turn, so...
Yes, and then be able to kind of fit the curve. Despite using a lot of them early, you get the refill early and put pressure on the Mage, which is really important.
Now Jeanno gets an advantage because he can use the Novice Engineer and it's Druid's 3rd turn. So if he wants to use the hero power, he cannot do anything else this turn.
Okay, so Azeri does end up drawing a 2nd Wild Growth. Now,
I mean, that might look good. It's all right. I don't think it's that important to have 2 wall growths, especially if you already have a creature curve coming. Like, it might not be best for him to wall growth and hero power next turn. Maybe it's just better to Shenzhen anyways. So, it's most important to have 1 wall growth. The card has a lot of diminishing returns.
we have a temporary problem with the switching, as you saw, so we're going to kind of stay on one POB for a second. Also, another really important card to have is that Keeper of the Grove for inevitable cards like Doomsayer, which will try to stall out Druids from building out really powerful boards with Druid of the Claw, Ancient of Lords, etc.
Yeah, having the Keeper is just the most important card for Druid in this matchup. I think the biggest way you can lose this matchup is basically getting your board Doomsayer. The Keeper kind of just prevents that. So
I think that the Druid has the exact cards he needs to win the game. He has Keeper to side as the Doomsayer, he has BGH to kill the Alexstrasza, and he has Savage Roar to finish the game. So now we rely on Jeanno to have a good hand.
Well, it looks like the screens have been able to switch.
And here we see the Doomsayer.
okay, fortunately for Jeanno, he does have the Keeper.
Would you play the Doomsayer or the Ice Block? No, Strefko.
I don't think you can play the Doomsayer here because it just dies to the 7 power and board.
Well, he can Doomsayer Frostbolt raid, and he needs his opponent to have a spell to get rid of this, or Keeper of the Grove.
That's true. But a big thing is you don't want to use your Frostbolts in this matchup for removal a lot of times because you kind of need it to...
Yeah, to pop the Ice Lances.
To pop the Ice Lance, exactly. He has Ice Sense in his hand. I mean, you do have 2, so using the first Frostbolt, you can draw the second one. Yeah, it's just a little bit weird.
Now he needs his AoEs to get rid of the Druid's board. A Flame Strike would be very good. So...
Yeah, Jeanno's just keep putting pressure.
Yeah.
I think he's going to play the bear. I think he's thinking about what form to use it in. I would say you should just charge here. You want to get as much damage as you can as fast as possible.
With Savage Roar in hand,
4-6, 4-4. It's not too much of a difference. Like, if you start getting Blizzard, Flame Strike, most of your stuff's going to die anyway. So I think he's just getting the guaranteed damage.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. He has Savage Roar in hand. If for some reason he's not able to even have Frost Nova the following turn, maybe this game could get popped, or the Ice Block could be popped early and the game could be put under pressure.
That's the objective. You have to pressure the board. But if he played a 4-4 Charger and Jeanno had freeze for 2 turns, he could just Flame Strike the whole board and get rid of it. So I think it was a good move to play the Druid in Taunt.
Wait, if he just plays Azure Drake, Savage Roar pops the... Does it pop? The Ice Block immediately?
It would probably
yes,
pop.
it does.
That's a lot of power, but you know, he doesn't really have a better move almost.
Oh my
Unless he starts Blood Mage.
It's exactly 19 damage.
So he doesn't obviously want that because the Ice Block sets up everything else. The Alexstrasza.
And I think that if he hero powers, he can let him at 1 HP. I'm not sure about it.
That's
because of that
as well.
1 damage more.
I mean, he has a Keeper to follow up as well from straight from his hand.
So he'll probably win in the next 2 turns. This can be strange. And without the Mage, I don't see Jeanno very good in this matchup, even though Azeri doesn't run Miracle Rogue.
Oh,
okay, so just playing the Doomsayer. This won't actually prevent the Ice Block popping if he chooses not to. Basically, what this does is it either forces Jeanno to it either forces Azeri to pop the block or get the Doomsayer. He can't do both.
I would just pop the block and leave him at 1 or 2 HP, and then Keeper the next turn, and you pretty much win the game.
Yep. And
yeah, I agree.
You
I
even
like
have
just
insurance. Whoa! Wait!
Okay, so he's choosing the other option.
Okay.
He's basically choosing to not keep his board, but not be able to pop the block. And I wouldn't say it's that bad either. I think it's pretty strong as well because, you know, this board is still going to be hard to deal with.
I would just pop the block. He could leave him at 2 HP and then Keeper. Easy. Now he gives Jeanno 1 more turn for no reason.
Yeah, especially with the Blizzards and Flame Strikes.
With this top deck, Jeanno would have lost the game for sure.
That is crazy. Yeah, that gives him the ability to stall, double
2
freeze.
Blizzards.
And now Jeanno can get back in the game because of that mistake.
Yes, I completely agree with RDU. I mean, I understand the line of thought that Strefko is explaining, but I think popping the Ice Block is a high priority because it puts the pressure back on Mage because not every turn they can freeze the board because then Druid's hero power whittles them down too.
Yeah.
And you can't freeze both unless you used your Ice Lances and Frostbolts liberally.
Also, Mage can't heal until turn 9 from Alex, so this is still 2 turns before
and
Alex.
Also, at 2 HP, the Mage only needs Ice Block.
Okay, he's going to use his Ancient of Lore to draw as well. Normally that's a card you kind of you keep in your hands so that way you can heal when the Alex inevitably comes out.
Yeah, I don't think Azeri is really good in the Druid versus Mage matchup. I mean, you have to pop the Ice Block as soon as possible, and you have to keep the Ancient of Lords to heal yourself. Now he's giving chances to Jeanno, and I would really like to see Jeanno punishing Azeri for that.
He's got a third freeze drawn with the Frost Nova, so more stall. And it'll be up to Azeri to draw into something to pop it, but can he even do 8 damage off the top of what he draws?
Force of Nature, maybe.
Force of Nature.
That's not enough this turn, the next turn.
Right.
He needs turn 9 for the combo.
But by then, a lot of things can change in 2 turns.
Well, there is a possible scenario where Azeri doesn't have the board, and Jeanno top decks Alexstrasza, and Jeanno Alexstrasza himself, and he can just beat the Druid, because Druid might not have... Oh, well, Azeri has BGH, so this doesn't count.
I think since Azeri's Druid is pretty taunt heavy, he probably has stuff like Ancient of War as well.
Yeah.
So I think Jeanno very likely needs the Alex to do the damage, not heal himself.
He doesn't have that much damage to in his hand. So Jeanno...
Oh, Ragnaros!
So that is the draw that potentially gives him...
I forgot about that
block.
possibility. Just needs to hit the face to pop the ice block, and he does!
Oh, gets the block. This is big.
That is massive.
Yeah. Now Jeanno needs to remove the rock and
another
ice
make
block.
another ice block, but that's almost impossible.
Yep.
Draws a fireball.
Unfortunately, here freeze is useless now because you can't just frost move
He
anymore.
can just flame strike the board and end a turn.
And hope
that rock hits Doom.
Well, even more specifically on turn 9, hope he doesn't have the ability to combo and kill him.
So
Or
it looks
he
like he's
can
going for the Frost Nova and
Set up more
bloating up
targets.
the creatures so that he has more targets.
Now he's just playing the Rag Roulette, and I don't see this going too well.
Rag roulette.
Now already Azeri has 1 in 3 chances, so he wins the
I'm
game
sure he can do
instantly.
a little bit better with
Yeah.
a Wrath, potentially.
Well,
Savage Roar.
He can draw.
Rough hero power, that's all
Wrath
he
Hero
needs.
Power can take out the 4/4.
He might even, if he wraths and cycles, what if he picks up his second keeper and silences his rag to finish the game?
I think
That would be
that's-
epic.
That would be,
Yeah, I don't think that's needed.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gonna take out the Wrath, probably finish
Yeah.
out his mana.
I think
with
the
maybe a Harvest
50-50 is
Golem.
fair.
Yeah.
It's fair, and it's you feel so comfortable too as Druid. There's no pressure. You're
Even if
still
you
at
miss,
a
even if
comfortable
you
life.
miss, hey, you're still really commanding position. It doesn't
Exactly.
even matter for Azeri if he misses.
Yep.
Well, he's still shown that
yeah.
he's not able to deal with Rag in the previous
Exactly,
turn.
exactly. It's totally fine if this misses for Azeri.
So, moment of truth.
It's what's going to be for game number 1. It hits a
Oh.
face. And Jeanno drops the Mage, a crucial deck in order to go against his best of 5 with what Azeri has in store. A very important game number 1.
Yes, Druid is favorable. As you can see, even if you misplay and miss lethal, you still win.
That's not lethal.
Well,
but miss lethal on the block.
Pop the lethal, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do agree it's better to pop the block. It's just, it's not that much worse. It's still playable from the other way around.
It's playable,
Yeah.
but the only card that could save Jeanno after he gets his block popped was another ice block.
And even
So-
that's pretty bad because you
Yeah,
can...
even that is pretty bad.
Exactly.
So
Because
Because
still
you might
has to
lose the
deal
block
with the
again
rag.
next turn. From
Exactly.
any charger, maybe a keeper swipe.
Jeanno goes for Zoo.
Okay.
It is a zoo.
So it is Zoo, we do know. Now,
Zoo usually
but
has-
that's hand. That
Wow!
hand from the Druid.
Oh
That's
my God.
amazing.
And he even mulliganed the big game winner.
Oh
so
my
it
goodness,
looks
look
like
at
he
Jeanno's
knew.
starting hand.
It knew- he knew it was Zoo.
Look at Jeanno's starting hand. So
Oh,
if he knows it's
wow.
Zoo, then he
Now
can
you
grab
don't
an
know
early
it's-
lead.
No,
He doesn't know.
he will
doesn't-
tap turn 2, so
Yeah,
he
yeah.
will not know.
It might be... Okay.
But the thing is that usually Zoo beats Druid pretty hard, but not this kind of Druid with a lot of taunts.
Yeah, this-
so
this-
Azeri is favorite in this matchup too.
Exactly.
And Jeanno's last deck is Miracle Rogue, which I think he had to play
My
this
goodness.
game.
Oh,
It looks like a
no.
handlock by any
It
means.
does look
right?
like handlock, but it doesn't matter. You can't really, like, it doesn't change anything for your opponent now that you represent handlock.
Sure.
You still kind of play out your hand, and then you're gonna realize it's Zoo eventually. So
At this point, you're actually kind of glad because you start having other ways to deal with it. Because handlock, you're always dealing with the fact that what if he just drops giants and how can I deal with it? Now, Jeanno's kind of struggling. Is he seriously considering tapping?
there's no way you can tap again. What is he?
Maybe
tapping
Jeanno doesn't
for?
want to show his opponent that he plays Zoo.
Unless
But
he has a
then you're
response.
just tapping forever, and
Yeah.
Zoo, what's the point? How are you gonna win?
Let me help you win.
Jeanno has to play the monsters
He has
this
to
turn.
play the-
But if he plays Samani and Priestess, it dies to swipe, so he should just play Harvest Golem, let the Senjin trade, and then Soulfire, and possibly play some other monsters and go for a turn 5 Doomguard for the win. Maybe if the opponent doesn't draw anything good, but we saw the Sunwalker, so that will end up bad for Jeanno.
Yeah, I think the results are about the same either way. The Senjin is going to be killing off one of the creatures. You're going to be hero powering. So do you value the Harvest Golem or do you value the two smaller creatures to fit in the curve? Generally, as a Zoo player, people say as a rule of thumb, you kind of want to squeeze in the more expensive creatures. But in this scenario, I think either one's not really that bad.
I'd say in this scenario, when you're this far behind at the Zoo, you just want to make the higher risk, higher reward move, and I think this is the right move. Because if you play the Harvest Golem, it just dies to the 3 power from the Senjin and the hero power. At least this move, you force your opponent to have cards to deal with your creatures.
I don't agree with this play. If he attacked the Senjin in the Amani, he could just rush for 1 and then trade with the face, and he would take 2 damage in Senjin. He took 2 damage and basically didn't draw any card. So he just gave up a card for free.
Yeah, the 3 to 4 health,
Yeah,
the 3
yeah.
to 2 health isn't really that much of a difference on a blank board. So
he actually made a strictly worse move. He actually made a strictly worse move, right? There was no advantage. He didn't save any health on his creature. He just basically discarded a card for free.
Yep.
Oh, you're correct. Yeah, okay.
Because he basically used the Senjin to overkill the 2-1.
Instead of roughing for 1.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's too bad, but that's in the past. Azeri now has a Doom Guard. Or sorry, Jeanno has the Doom Guard, but he would have to give up a significant part of his hand.
It's so hard to Doom Guard here. I think the best move might be to hit the Yeti with your creature, Soulfire it, or maybe play your Shattered Sun before. He shouldn't do this. He should buff the other half of the Golem.
I think that the best play.
This one's gonna die anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
The best play is to Soulfire, trade with Harvest, hope you don't discard Doom Guard, and then just Doom Guard and go face, and you might win if your opponent doesn't have any taunt, but we know he has Sunwalker, so that will end up pretty bad. Unless, well, if he plays Sunwalker, the Harvest can trade in Sunwalker, and then the Doom Guard can trade with it also.
I think he can't afford to discard 2 cards with right now. Oh, he's just going for the face.
Maybe.
I don't like this.
I don't like this either. I think you need... Zoo can't just go for the face from the start. You need to set up the board.
Yeah.
The winning board.
You gain power every single turn if your opponent can't remove. And Azeri, he almost went for the face directly. Well, I feel like you could take your advantage because Sunwalker is so powerful with only one creature.
I think you trade for the 3-2, especially since this move you prevent the Argus from getting 2 targets.
Yes, and then if Jeanno overextends the board, he can just Force of Nature and clear it all.
Okay, so Azeri does go for the more safe play.
Okay, let's see what's gonna be.
What will Jeanno do? A good play would just be to Soulfire, Doom Guard, Voidwalker, and clear the board.
Assuming you can keep those 2 cards.
Yeah, you're just in the Doom Guard. It's 25% to lose the Doom Guard, so you can take that.
Yeah, I think it's bad. And the Voidwalker, as much as you'd like to get it down, is he going to take a higher percentage chance?
He wants to keep the Voidwalker and the Doom Guard, but...
That is greedy! Oh, but he does it. It pays off.
It pays off. Well...
I think it's probably fine. I mean, you're trying to take a lot of risks at this point when you're this far behind.
Yeah, you have to take risks.
You have to take risks. This was not a good opening from Jeanno. He missed his 1 drop and missed his 2 drop.
If he gets a swipe now, it would be very bad. But Jeanno can win the game. Maybe just because of that misplay to discard 1 card for free. If he had 1 more card, he could do something.
This would be a totally another game.
Maybe he'd have a swipe by now.
Yeah.
And play Harvest Golem, but now he's got to play the Black Knight.
Okay. I didn't actually expect that. I expected him to charge the bear and hero power down to 2-1.
Or just taunt the bear, I don't know. No,
I don't think you
if
taunt
he
the
taps
bear.
for something...
like Abusive Sergeant?
Yeah, Abusive Sergeant. Oh my god!
That is crazy! And now Jeanno, he's been able... Now he can continue to rack up damage, and this is what Zoo needs to come back into the game.
Again, swipe would be very bad. No swipe, he can win the game.
But he has Force of Nature, though. Force of Nature. That's a game changer. And a Keeper of the Grove.
He can clear the board with Force of Nature.
There we go.
I would do that. I mean, you let the Zoo without any board, and then next time you can just down tap and click the board with Druid of the Claw and the Keeper.
All right, so Azeri gets the full board.
Basically, Jeanno needs to top deck Doom Guard and then tap.
Jeanno needs the Doom Guard. And
that's a possibility. I won't rule it out.
Argent Commanders if he plays.
Yeah, we don't know if he plays it there, so...
Okay, Direwolf.
And
that's one of the...
2 week
Deja vu? Anybody? I'm sure we just saw this exact combination in that order.
If he had a board, these draws would be perfect, but...
Okay, so now he just takes out everything.
Sure, and this is where Keepers can be super powerful, Harvest Golems. honestly, the order might not matter whatsoever.
Yeah, I do prefer playing the Harvest Golem
and the hero power. That was probably better.
Yeah,
because
Zoo needs the creature to buff.
Zoo can buff stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
See,
as
that's
you can
one
see.
of them.
Oh, and there you go, full Argus value.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus, he would have been able to just buff this Mind Berserker, and it would have been much harder to break
He can still
through.
trade very good. He attacks because if he doesn't attack, his opponent can just attack the Keeper of the Groove in the 3-2 and the Druid of the Claw in the other monster, just to click the board for free.
Yeah.
Now he needs to lose the Druid of the Claw if he wants to trade, and that's a very good move by Jeanno. But I still think the
Druid's way far
Druid,
ahead.
Yeah, now you get sticky creatures like Harvest Golem. If you draw something into like Savage Roar, maybe next turn you can just win.
Plus, as the Warlock now, you're dropping stuff into this board. I mean, what can you possibly drop into this board that you're comfortable with? Like, pretty much nothing.
Deathwing? No, he has BGH. If you drop like something weird like Deathwing, that'd be crazy.
Harvest Golem is the best card versus Zoo. You
Yeah.
just trade with at least 2 or 3 monsters, it depends. So you get a lot of value.
The 2 lives in general, anything that's
Yeah.
2 lives. You know, Scarlet Crusader is good against Zoo as well.
Unless you get Blood Knight.
Wow. Silence the
Keeper
Harvest.
of the Grove.
That's
Silence the Harvest trade with all the board, I would do that. Because if the opponent taps and you get Savage Roar, you get lethal next turn.
Well, he's been sitting on potential lethal for about 2 turns now. Let's see what Azeri or what Jeanno can draw to potentially bring him back, but I don't see anything that can.
Yes, unfortunately, we'll see a short game. I hope that the game will not be 3-0, the series. I want to see more exciting stuff from the players.
Yeah.
Me too, me too.
And also, I want to see more cards from their decks in case I win.
A little selfish request.
Yeah.
I don't foresee anything unless it's like something like a Hellfire.
Not even Hellfire. It will
Shadow
have double
Flame.
golems.
You need a
Nothing,
creature
there's
set.
nothing
There's
in his
nothing
deck.
you can do.
Jaraxxus.
Yeah.
Well, he wants to see his final card.
It looks like
It's
he
a
is planning to
Dark Iron
concede.
Dwarf?
He had the menu open.
Nah, there's nothing
Doesn't
he can
even
do.
want to tap, yeah.
Jeanno drops game number 2 and now will resort to his Druid for his last life. Druid can 3-0. It can win against anything, but Azeri's had great starts too. The Innervates to start things off.
Doesn't he have
he
Miracle?
had turn 1.
Last deck?
Oh, you're right. It's a Miracle. Well, no. It's the Druid. It's Druid. Azeri banned Jeanno's Miracle Rogue.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's Druid versus Druid. We don't know what kind of Druid that Gino's playing, do we?
Nope.
I want to say yes, but because I feel like we've seen so much Druid that it's kind
Okay,
of...
well, I don't have.
At this
to
point, we don't
rephrase.
know.
Okay.
It looks like normal Druid.
Yeah, okay. He does have an Innervate.
He has an Innervate.
Don't you usually keep a Wrath?
I wouldn't keep. I'd never keep Wrath in the mirror.
Oh.
I don't
Explain that a little bit. Why?
It's basically because you're never really trading efficiently earlier for Wrath. Like at worst, you're getting like one for like, what are you gonna Wrath? Like a Harvest Golem, a Keeper, a Yeti. They're not really efficient trades. I'd rather just have better chance of drawing into creatures or like my own
or into your
creatures,
Innervates, your Wild Growth.
Wild Growth
Yeah.
potentially, yeah.
Fair
Again,
enough.
we see the Argent Commander in Druid. We saw that at Amaz yesterday.
More of that mid-range, being able to pressure your opponent and pick your trades. Really passive start. Both Druid games were very fast.
Jeanno can have some pretty explosive turns very soon with both the coin and the Innervate, though. Okay, so he does draw into the combo. It's not good to draw into early, but...
Well, at least now he has it. So if he had the opportunity to press for damage and pressure his opponent, then maybe he can capitalize on that.
Now both players will play Harvest Golem. It will be interesting to see if one of them will use the Wrath or the Keeper. Maybe, yeah, I think that Azeri will just Wrath Hero
Oh,
Power.
nice.
Oh, he gets the
Very
Yeti.
nice.
This changes a lot of stuff.
So he does have a decent curve like this.
He could even innervate
the Argent,
Commander and then play Yeti next turn to fit better into the mana curve. Like you want the 6 drop earlier than the 4 drop. He can still get
not this 6 drop though, because it's not a real 6 drop, right? It's like since it's a charge minion like Argent Commander, it doesn't actually drop that good into the Harvest Golem because you can just hero power and kill at the Golem. So.
What do you think about this play?
This is good.
It's pretty greedy, in my opinion. But, yeah, it clears the board, and you don't lose the Harvest Golem. And, yeah, if he traded to the Harvest Golem, his whole board would die to swipe.
Yeah, I think so because, in this Druid mirror, establishing that board presence early and sneaking in any kind of form of damage is really important. But you do spend a lot of cards, and if you do that, I think if you have Ancient of Lore, you can make that play.
I think the most important thing in Druid Mirror is establishing board control, basically. That's why I think it's good to mulligan Wrath. I don't think it's good to innervate out Commander on someone's face generally because it doesn't really establish board control more. You're pushing in damage. If you had something like a Karn, it'd be much better. But I don't think he has much of a choice here. He'd have not many plays. I think maybe something better is just to play the Harvest Golem here and innervate out the Ancient of Lore next turn.
Yeah, and then Archer Commander turn 6, it fits better to the mana curve, but it seems that Jeanno doesn't want to play along the mana curve. He wants to innervate the Archer Commander this turn, but he doesn't have a good turn 5 play.
Just be Harvest Golem hero power, at least what it looks like, unless he needs to swipe it in an emergency.
And then turn 6 Force of Nature. I prefer what Strifeko said. It is better.
Yeah, I think long-term planning, it makes more sense along the curve. We'll see if it pans out well for Jeanno, though, but this Argent Commander's as good as dead.
I mean, if he gets to remove the other half of the Harvest Golem, it's decent. No, it's going to get Keepered. It's going to get
second Keeper about to come out.
Yeah. I mean, it'd actually be pretty good for Jeanno if the Argent Commander trades for the Harvest Golem as well, because then it takes out the Keeper and half the Harvest Golem. That's pretty good, but obviously it's much... Yeah, Azeri should definitely Keeper it. I wouldn't trade your Harvest Golem for it.
He also picks up a very important card in the Ancient of Lore. And considering that his opponent just used Innervate, he's going to hit his lore turn much faster.
Keeper isn't very important to save in Druid Mirror if you see them having Argent Commanders. The biggest thing to Keeper is stuff like Ancient of War and maybe Karn, maybe. You don't even know if they run those cards, so...
It's not guaranteed. Not everybody does.
Exactly. Especially if you see Argent Commander, right? Could just be like the ramp into double combo, Argent Commander, 2 Drakes.
At this point, you can't underestimate any Druid deck. They can throw anything. We saw Amaz's deck, which normally seems like a normal Druid, with kind of mid-range, and then he throws in like the Ancient of War, which we didn't used to see.
Yeah, see, the Druid Mirror, the player who wins usually is the player that gains the board control because he keeps it. Like we see in this game, Azeri has a huge board control, and he will be the first one that can afford to play Ancient of Lore and draw. I don't think Jeanno can afford to play Ancient of Lore on
and also Savjor is the card that snowballs the board control. If you have the combo with board control, you can kill somebody from 30, you know?
Yes.
Yes, RDU would know. He did that to Dark Onyx just a couple weeks ago.
That was Token Druid. It's a little bit different. You get a lot of more monsters.
And he's just going to push pressure here. Not even really worry about Black Knight because I guess there's no really... He's just going to play his Ancient of Lore next turn anyways.
If Jeanno had Black Knight now, it wouldn't change a lot of things. Black Knight could trade after 1 turn with the Keeper, but that's not so important because Azeri can just push out the damage and win the game in like 2 turns.
Jeanno flirting with the idea of playing Swipe. Try to go for some board clear, but it just removes...
It just removes the taunter.
One minion.
I mean, he might not have something too much better anyways, unfortunately. Because his Golem can't trade with anything after the swipe. But, what else can you really do? I mean, you can Keeper and kill the Golem, but it'll come back.
Yeah. Every other option looks like it's just killing that Shenzhen, pretty much.
Oh, you can Keeper the Shenzhen for 2 damage.
Oh, okay.
And then Hero Power and
then
use the Golem.
Have a stronger board.
Yeah, you'd have a slightly stronger board than the other move, but the swipe does 1 damage still, and then you lose half your Golem. I still think Keeper's probably actually better. You can't afford to be greedy with your hand. I think you have to make the stronger move here.
He's using Force of Nature.
I think he also has taken damage and he doesn't want to use his hero power as much as possible.
He wants to prepare the board for a swipe, but that can be too late, unfortunately, because now Azeri will play Lore. Or Cairn, oh. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Card.
Also a powerful move.
Cairn will get silenced, probably.
Yeah, I would play Lore here.
Still a 4/5.
Yeah, Lore is better here.
I think Cairn also gives you flexibility to Wrath next turn. Wow, an Innervate.
Now he might even trade with the Innervate and the 2/1 damaged Golem. That's pretty good because it plays around swipe pretty efficiently.
Yeah.
And that's what you want.
Yeah, and Ferdinand had a really nice point. If you keep the Karn, you can Karn Hero Power or Karn Wrath next turn as well. So to better fit your mana curve.
Not to mention that he's sitting at a nice range of health compared to his opponent at 18 rather. So he's always going to be worried about combo or lethal range.
It always sucks to be the Druid that's dropping the lore into the other player's lore.
Yeah.
Because then you're always behind in this race.
Exactly. Gosh, how do you do this if you're Jeanno? He's on his last life and he's looking at it almost another 3-0 possibly for Azeri.
A lot of 3-0s in this tournament. Azeri seems very good, but is also a little bit lucky. that he always has the best hands.
Yeah, he's got the answers to his opponents.
Yeah, he also always gets the answers
So
to
maybe
his
we
opponents.
can have a Maz versus Azeri finals.
I don't want that.
And Azeri looks like he's
Just
got
making a
kind of
joke.
like the same glasses designer as Amaz too. So maybe they're working together on this. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
see what he draws.
This goes for the clearing out the ancient
board,
lore.
yeah, the
Not
ancient
the board, but
yeah.
a little bit of the board.
And now if Azeri draws a big taunt like Ancient of War and plays it, Jeanno might come back into the game by Black Knighting the taunt.
Can't imagine anything else but Kieran coming
Now
out
it's
here,
a very good turn for Kieran on the empty board.
Get the
You just
hero power
pressure your
as well.
opponent more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kieran is so sticky. You might draw into combo. You know, all these kinds of possibilities and more for Azeri, while Jeanno is struggling to seize back the board.
Sun Fury, that's a good draw. But I guess we know that Azeri has Black Knight. But I think Jeanno is pretty happy to see this card because when you're this low, you kind of need the Sun Fury to stabilize from the burst. Keeper doesn't really do anything here because you're silencing it, but you're not killing it, so you're still taking the damage. So it looks like he might have to
Lore,
play the lore anyways.
but for draw or for healing.
I don't know.
Well, you die either way to combo, so I
Yeah.
think at this point you got to just go for cards and see what you can do to potentially answer if he doesn't have it.
Yep.
Another move is made just to play Hearthstone and still silence it. But
I think neither of these answers are preferable.
yeah, neither.
Where's the none of the
preferable.
above options in this multiple choice question?
Concede is another option.
That is none of the above. All right, well, he's going to run out of time eventually. Jeanno, what's it going to be?
I wonder if he's gonna kill the keeper. That seems weird. Like if you kill the keeper,
It's like,
healing.
he's going to
Yeah.
restore health? Does that really impact anything, though?
I don't think so. He
And
dies to combo
That also
anyway.
means you're very content. Or you're not content, but you're okay with what you have in your hand. And his hand doesn't look very powerful.
It does help though. Like even if you're playing around them not having the combo, because it doesn't matter if they have the combo, it might still be okay, right? Because it's still better to have 5 more life. Like it's not just about lethal this turn, right? You also
Sure.
have to think about turns in the future, and it still helps to some extent.
He might not even have the full combo, but he might have pieces like maybe
like
swipe
one
through the
Savage
claw.
Roar, exactly.
Right, to kill you
Drew the
anyways.
Claw, Savage Roar.
Now Azeri
something.
can end the game in 2 turns. He just lures and then trades the Wrath and the Keeper in the Ancient of Lore of the opponent. Goes with Kieran on face. Kieran will probably
Oh, the Ragnaros as
survive
well.
the board.
Way
and-
too much
yeah.
damage in the hand. I think Jeanno is going to be looking at game over in a couple of turns.
Yeah.
Probably even next turn. Depends on the draws. He can draw a combo or Rag might be enough.
And it is snowballed way out of control. That Wrath isn't going to be what saves him.
It looks like Jeanno is
actually,
running
he has
out of
a keeper.
options. You can keep or go and
Keeper.
taunt your guys,
Mhm.
but it might buy you another turn. It's just so like one of the weaknesses of Druid is you don't really have board clear options. You don't have like Flame Strike, Lightning Storm.
Not yet.
Druid is a really honest class. Like you have to fight slowly for board control. It's almost like Zoo except with a little bit different things.
Druid's not a fully honest class. They can cheat sometimes
Okay,
with
there
Innervate.
are cheats, right? There's like Innervate and stuff like that, but ultimately it's creatures fighting creatures, and if you're this far behind, it's really hard to make a comeback.
Sure. I'm just saying they're not totally as clean as they look to be, okay? I know Malfurion's tricks.
Even if he uses
Sneaks
some
them in
Fury, Savage Roar is still lethal. Even
That
with
is
some
true.
Fury.
If he plays with the last combo piece, and I feel like maybe it's coming. Okay.
Oh, that's
Black Knight.
interesting.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Jeanno has Black Knight. If he decides to play Ancient of War, he might.
Yeah, but
Nah.
he's not going
He's-
to.
he's-
There's
he-
no reason to get a taunt here.
And also, he's just way too.
yeah, I would play even play the
For
either that or even the 5 and the 4, right? So
Playing Ragnaros here is really good.
Oh, Azeri's motioning for the face. He's
Face.
done it twice.
Oh,
and he gets it the third
nice.
time. And that sets up the lethal with the Force of Nature the following turn. That's assuming his opponent can even deal with it.
well, growth.
Well,
I
growth at
guess
the top.
He can
has
wide
to.
go for the
BGH maybe.
BGH and play BGH some Fury. That's the only way he can survive.
Yeah.
And that seems like his only option. He's not even going to go for it. Jeanno realizes his tournament is done. And that's going to be it. Azeri advances to the finals and awaits the winner of RDU versus Amaz. RDU, any thoughts?
Yeah, he played really good.
Yeah.
I want to play versus him in the finals. I can't wait. But I have to concentrate on this game first.
All right, Shrifegro, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice to see just how strong Druid can be when you get the nice cards. Like Druid, I've seen Druid actually be the class that just 3-0s a lot. I mean, I see Druid clean sweep classes so often.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
It's really consistent.
Yeah,
you feel
exactly.
like you're very stable. Because you have the choice of a lot of things, it helps makes the versatility allow it to play into your options. You know, Jeanno is the player that you guys pegged to be the favorite. I even, you know, subconsciously thought here that Jeanno was maybe the more skilled player, making a lot of better decisions throughout the tournament. But now Azeri, you know, I picked him, so I'm just going to put out there that I told you so, but at the same time, it wasn't really fair because I only picked him since you two picked him.
Exactly.
I was going to pick Jeanno too. And I think he's surprising everybody, and people need to be put on notice as this is the sole representative from Taiwan advancing to the finals. He's going to be the representative from the East because I count him as from the West. RDU, good luck in the next series.
Thank you.
You know, is there anything last you want to say before? Because I think this will probably be the last time you cast maybe until... Maybe we'll have you back for the finals, but I don't want to jinx you.
Yeah, if I win the finals, I will do some shoutouts and yeah. That's
all right, cool. So good luck to that. And we're going to get ready for our last break. Make sure to join the conversation, guys, on Facebook and Twitter, hashtag IEM, and let us know what you guys think. ESL is going to be doing lots more Hearthstone, hopefully in the future. It depends on your guys' feedback. We also appreciate that the stream did start a little bit late, but there's a lot of great day of StarCraft with players like Jaedong advancing. A lot of people were happy, and you can check all those results as well on Team Liquid or IntelExtremeMasters.com. As for me, I think we're just going to take a quick break and get ready for our second semifinals and get ready to find out what happens. It's a day with Destiny because I'm excited. This is a battle for first place spot also in Gosu Gamers. I know you guys advanced to the finals, but you and Amaz always talk about these rankings of who's going to be true number one. Right now, you're tied exactly, right?
Yeah, exactly the same points. I think 1,326, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, he's got his number memorized. And if you win, maybe you get up to a little bit higher than that. Yeah. Every single point matters. These guys are fighting for pride, honor, and for the money. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick commercial break for a few minutes, and when we come back, we're going to get ready for our second semifinal here at the Intel Extreme Masters in Shenzhen, China.